The story begins with Juan, a poor, struggling young man who can't even afford his apartment rent. He works as an artist, and while his art does bring in a little money, it's not much. We see him sitting on the street painting a portrait of a beautiful girl. When he finishes, she's amazed by the artwork. But just as he's about to start a new painting, a luxurious car pulls up. Inside is the richest man in the village. To Juan's shock, with this man is none other than Juan's ex-girlfriend. The rich man purposely humiliates Juan in front of her. He throws money at him and mocks, "Here you go, this should cover your whole day's earnings," then laughs in his face. Juan, embarrassed and wearing only a quarter of his clothes, gathers his stuff and heads to his worn-out car. Honestly, it's hard to tell whether he's driving it or it's dragging him. Juan returns to his village, a place filled with artists, galleries, and homes of painters. You could call it, my friend, a haven for artists. On his way home, he runs into his landlord, who demands the overdue rent. Fed up, Juan throws the rent money in his face. Before he can leave, the landlord tells him that's only for last month. He still owes this month's rent. Juan casually replies, "I'll pay later," which angers the landlord enough to throw a bottle of water at him. Now, you'd expect Juan to throw it back, right? Nope. Our sweet Juan picks up the bottle and gently puts it with his collection. He gathers and sells plastic bottles at the end of each month. The landlord sneers and says, "That's the poor man's logic," mocking how Juan collects plastic and cans. Of course, all respect to those who do this work. Juan then visits his dream gallery, a place he wishes to exhibit his artwork in someday. Like every day, he approaches the gallery owner, asking him to sponsor his painting. He even hands over some money, but the owner laughs and says, "This won't even cover 1 square meter of wall space." He leaves Juan and heads upstairs. Juan follows him, begging him to display his painting. The owner coldly replies, "Your art is garbage, Juan." Juan defends himself, saying, "I've improved so much, even my girlfriend Tian is impressed by it." Now, let me tell you, my friend, Tian is blind. Seriously, I'm not joking. She lost her vision due to an eye problem years ago. The gallery owner scoffs. "So you're relying on the opinion of your blind girlfriend? You've lost it." Then he points to another painting of a potato and says, "Now this, when I look at it, I actually feel hungry. That's how real it looks." Juan, crushed, doesn't know what to say. Now, about Tian, she can't see, and the only job she could find is working as a massage therapist. Unfortunately, this job puts her at risk of harassment, and people in the place take advantage of her blindness. One day, Juan catches someone harassing her and immediately takes revenge, doing to the harassers exactly what they did to her. He tells them, "Now do you feel what this poor girl feels?" He expects them to regret their actions, but instead, they gang up and beat him. After the beating, Juan and Tian go to the apartment where she treats his wounds. Juan exaggerates, claiming, "I beat them all up without mercy." Tian, who heard the attackers screaming, says, "Yeah, I heard them in pain from the beatings," unaware that it was actually Juan screaming. Juan then surprises her with a gift, a pair of shoes. She loves them. They dance together for a while, and just as Juan leans in to give her mouth-to-mouth, don't ask why, she suddenly hears someone else in the room. She asks, "Who's that?" Juan quickly says, "Just a friend who got evicted. He's staying with me." He tells his friend to keep his eyes shut, but Tian feels uncomfortable and leaves. Later, Juan and his friend go to the rooftop to drink some sauce. They get so drunk they pass out. Suddenly, a spaceship appears above them. Juan wakes up in shock and tries to wake his friend, but the guy is completely knocked out. The spaceship hovers right over their neighborhood. Juan sees a girl stepping out of the spaceship. She looks like a cartoon character, and she's pointing at 2 others who come down with her. It seems like they've come to the area to draw. Juan tries to take a picture of them, but the fool forgot the flash was on, so the aliens spot him and vanish in seconds, along with their ship. But Juan notices that they dropped something. When he goes to check, he finds it's a pen. Since he's an artist, he keeps it and goes to sleep. The next morning, he wakes up shaken, remembering everything. His friend sees him and jokes, "Are you dead, or just asleep?" Juan starts telling him all about what happened on the rooftop. To his shock, his friend starts finishing the details for him. Juan is stunned, thinking maybe his friend saw it too. But his friend explains that Juan was mumbling the whole thing in his sleep. Turns out before bed, Juan had even drawn the 3 aliens. Juan loses hope that his friend will believe him and heads out to paint people on the street. While he's painting, his color runs out. He searches for more but can't find the right one. Then he spots the alien pen from last night. He decides to use it to finish the painting. First, he tests it on another sheet, and suddenly the drawing he just made turns real. He's in shock. To confirm what just happened, he draws an apple. Once again, it turns real. Overjoyed, he eats the apple, and it's definitely real. Excited, he puts the apple in his pocket and rushes to his friend to tell him everything. He shows him what's left of the apple and explains that he drew it and it came to life. But as usual, his friend doesn't believe him. He eats the rest of the apple and says, "What nonsense are you talking about? Go check into a hospital." To prove it, Juan draws a gold bar, just like his friend requested. But surprisingly, the drawing doesn't turn real immediately. His friend scoffs and throws the paper out the window. Suddenly they hear an old man yelling in pain. The paper hit his head. The man scolds them for throwing bricks from the window, but then sees the gold bar on the ground, grabs it, slips it into his pocket and walks away like nothing happened. That's when Juan's friend finally believes him. He tells Juan to draw a bigger gold bar, which he does, and they're both amazed. Since they live in a tiny room, Juan decides to draw a giant palace. He draws it, and suddenly, the palace appears in the middle of the city out of nowhere. People are shocked. The police arrive shortly after, just as confused. "We were just here 5 minutes ago. Who had time to build this?" they ask. The officers try to open the palace gates, and that's when Juan and his friend realize they've made a big mistake. Juan tries to erase the drawing, but doesn't know how. Then he discovers a button on the pen that deletes any drawing he doesn't want. He presses it, and instantly, the palace disappears before everyone's eyes. Once again, people are left speechless. Back in their room, Juan's friend tells him, "We need to draw money, at least 200 million won." He tries it himself, drawing a number, but it doesn't turn into money, just stays a number. Juan takes the pen, skillfully draws stacks of cash, and within seconds the room floods with so much money it covers them